Good afternoon, I'm Chef Wickham here at the Center for Culinary Arts at the Kaiser Sarasota campus. Today I'm going to be demoing knife sharpening and honing of your knife. What I have here is a 10-inch chef's knife. This is a tri-stone. It's got a coarse, medium, and a fine grit, and my steel. So whenever you sharpen your knife, it's important to make sure that you have enough distance on a table so you're not bumping into somebody, because you're going to be rotating from the hip. And it looks kind of silly, but that's the motion that you want. Now, the angle in which you sharpen your knife, okay, if you think about it, this is 45 degrees. So half of 45 is going to be what? 22.5, okay? So anywhere between 22.5 to 25 degrees, that's about the angle. And you can feel it when you rock your knife back and forth. You can feel the edge on your knife, okay? And so what you want to do is make sure you get from the heel of the knife to the tip of the knife. And there's two ways that you can do it effectively. I go blade out. Some people go blade in. So what you want to do is you're going to start from one end of the stone, bring it all the way across. And there's a special sound that you're going to hear when you're sharpening your knife. And it doesn't sound like nails on a chalkboard. If you hear nails on a chalkboard, you're doing it wrong. So what you want to hear is, I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but it's just it sounds like a sweeping motion. So heel to tip. And you want to do equal number of strokes on both sides of the knife. I go back, I double check with my thumb going across. And obviously you don't want to go this way. The next step is to go into the medium grit. And so I'm going to flip my stone. Again, I'm going to find my angle again, so I'm going to rock my knife until I get to the correct edge. And some people actually prefer to go out when they're sharpening their knives. I don't like it that way. I feel like I have more control over my knife when I'm going this way. The one thing you want to make sure that you never ever do is go in circular motions, because if you go in a circular motion, it's going to mess up the alignment of the molecules of your knife. Okay? So I'm going to go back over the medium grit. I'm going to check my edge. Now I'm going to move on to the fine grit. What the fine grit does is that it removes any sort of burrs or nicks that may be left on your knife. It doesn't really sharpen all that much. It just kind of fine-tunes it a little bit. So again, same number of strokes on either side, using the same angle. Okay. Now the next step you want to do whenever you're sharpening a knife is to hone your knife. And if you think about it this way, honing is the conditioner for your knife. If you ever look on the back of a Pantene bottle, there's little pictures of a hair follicle before Pantene and after Pantene. So what your steel is magnetized, so it basically aligns all the molecules into a straight order. Now before I hone my knife, I want to make sure that I wipe all the mineral oil off so I don't get it onto my steel, because that would be cross-contamination. Okay. So we're going to be using the same angle again. Now there's a couple different ways that you can hone your knife. Now if you're new with your knife and you don't feel very comfortable, you can stand your knife up and you can go like this. Okay? Now, more advanced you get, and this is where you have to be careful. There's a reason why there's a guard on your steel. It's to protect your thumb so you don't whack your thumb. So after you've been in school for a while, you look at the guard on your steel and you see how many times you've nicked it. That would have been your thumb. So when I hone my knife, I go 90 degrees from steel to knife, and then I'm going again on a 22.5 or 22.5 degree angle, just like I did on my knife, or on the stone. And it should be equal number of strokes, making sure that you always keep your eyes on the knife and on the steel. You don't want to look away because you don't want to nick yourself. Now again, you're going to be taking particles of the knife off, and you can get particles of the steel off onto your knife, so you want to make sure that you wipe your knife down, because before you cut anything, you want to make sure you get rid of all those metal filings, otherwise it will end up in your food. So that's essentially how you sharpen your knife.